Hello, it's April 23rd, 2020. It's Mayor Mike Inman coming to you from Macomb City Hall, where we continue to be open and interacting and trying to do the best we can to provide a continuity of government and services to everybody. Today, a bit of mixed news to share with you today. We'll start off with the fact that there are still only 4 cases, confirmed cases of COVID-19 in McDonough County. All 4 of those individuals are, one has recovered and the other 3 are in isolation, self-isolating in their homes. Again, there is some again mixed bag of news today, is that would indicate that, like I'm going to share with you and some other information, that our efforts have been for the right reasons. And as we continue to see numbers here go up statewide, and there is an expectation that there will be additional cases in McDonough County, there has been some movement at the state level on the governor's stay-at-home order. And again, that's a bit of mixed information or mixed news. So you may probably be aware by now that Governor Pritzker has extended the stay-at-home order through May 30th. But in conjunction with that, he made several modifications and to that order, and I'll share those with you right now. First and foremost, effective May 1st, individuals will be required to wear a face covering over or mask over their face in a public place where they're unable to maintain 6 feet of social distancing. And face coverings will be required in public indoor spaces. So just to clarify that a little bit, if you're out in public just walking around, recreating, whatever, and you cannot maintain social distancing between you and other people in the group, then a face mask is required. And then indoor public spaces will require face masks as well. And that's for everyone who's 2 years of age or older and medically able to tolerate the face mask. Some positive news is that a couple of businesses have been added to the essential list by the governor's order. And again, these are all effective May 1st, a week from today. Greenhouses, garden centers, and nurseries can reopen under as essential businesses. But some important changes, some modifications have to do with non-essential retail. So remember that essential businesses have always been under the order identified as banks, grocery stores, places that sell food, restaurants, gasoline, those basic essential services. So all those other things all those other businesses that have, essentially been closed up, boarded up, whatever, they now have some flexibility. So if they're non-retail, for example, a clothing store, a fabric shop, anything that's traditionally a retail business, they'll be able to reopen to fulfill telephone and online orders through pickup outside the store and delivery. So I think that's a bit of good news for a good portion of our retail community. So again, if anyone listening would like some clarification, we've got some guidance here from the governor's office, and we'd be happy to talk to you about that. But again, those are important things to remember. And those essential businesses will be required to follow social distancing requirements, and they will be required that employees and customers wear face masks when inside. So again, the face mask thing is a substantial requirement, and it's part of the extension of the order. And then some other outdoor activities have been opened up. Golfing, if you're a golfer, then that'll be permitted with some strict safety guidelines, and that'll be issued by the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. And again, this takes effect May 1st. And fishing and boating in groups no more than 2 at a time will be permitted. So that would apply to both Argyle Lake State Park, which will be reopening under this order, and some provisions at Spring Lake here in Macomb. So again, a balance of things going forward where the demands for our continued monitoring of health, and that being the overriding concern here, I think, is what I'm reading into the governor's order, and rightly so. But with an open ear and some modifications to the order that are sensitive to the economic impact that this is having on everybody as well. So there are also some provisions that will allow the hospital to start doing some elective procedures under some strict guidelines. So that should help out, particularly MDH here in Macomb, where they'll be able to get folks that have need of some additional services that may have been put on hold, as long as they're meeting criteria and having some discussions and listening to some discussions at the hospital yesterday. They're working hard to meet those guidelines, and so that they can get back to doing some of those elective procedures that they've been asked not to do. Not unlike other states and across the country. Again, when these new modifications take place, the other aspects of this will still remain. This is not relieving us of the duty to maintain 6-foot spacing, only be engaging in activities with members of your household, things like that. And then again, the added provision of face mask use or covering face mask or facial covering when out in public. So I think it's some encouraging, even though the number of cases still is very high, the number of deaths across the state are very high. There seems to be, according to the governor and the information that he shared with us today, there's appears to be a plateauing, and likely the peak of this would be the first 7 to 10 to maybe 14 days of May, and this order will carry us through that time. I know, and I completely understand, this is still so contrary to what we're used to as a community and as a nation, and this continues to have detrimental impacts on how we like to live our lives. But again, would encourage folks to, stick with it. We wouldn't be seeing the number of deaths. We would be seeing, I'm convinced we'd be seeing the number of deaths much higher had we not taken these steps, and everybody being as good as they have been about the compliance. It will continue to be necessary to comply with these social distancing, the other CDC guidelines, hand washing, none of that changes. That's all still very much a part of this going forward. So please don't get the wrong idea that some of these things are being lifted and suddenly we don't have to worry about washing our hands and social distancing and things like that. Those are all still part of making this work. And it's very critical that we still abide by those. But again, there is some modification in some of these things that are helpful to the economy of our communities and very much needed. So again, if you have questions, please feel free to contact us here. The small business community has still got plenty of opportunity. The opportunities for getting tested, the testing protocol, that number for the nurse hotline at MDH will be appearing here in just a minute. We should also remind you that the Small Business Administration still has some programs available for our business owners in the community. Those are still available and can be accessed through the Chamber's website, which is on your screen now. And if you have additional information, those folks in the small business community, please reach out to the Community Development Office, and that number should be on your screen now too. And while we're talking about small business development, so our friends at Spoon River College have announced that on April 28th at 9 a.m., they'll be holding a Zoom meeting. Zoom is a multimedia platform for small business assistance programs that are available and update. So the link to that is appearing on your screen right now. Or if you want additional information, please visit the downtown Facebook page or call the Office of Community Development here at City Hall and we'll get you the information. Again, that's Spoon River College, a Zoom program. It's an online-based program on the 28th of April at 9 a.m. to help with small business development assistance programs. So again, stay-at-home order has been extended until the 30th of May with some modifications that get our economy a little better situated. Not fixed by any means, but a little better. So again, stick with us, hang in there, and we'll see you again soon.